John Oppenheim, and I want to welcome you to Volume 2 of Social Distancing Yoga, brought to you by Century Villages at Cabrillo. Today, we're going to do a class that's a little different than the first one I did, and if you are unable to stand, perhaps you're in a wheelchair or on a walker or something like that, at least try to do this. I'll try and mention as I go through how to do it seated. But I did the volume 1 was totally seated. So today we're going to do volume 2. So hope everybody's doing well, dealing with sitting there talking to the walls, and hopefully they're not talking back. So let's just start by closing our eyes or softening our gaze. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, just let go of all the stuff that's going on or not going on. And for the next half hour or so, let's just concentrate on this practice, which is what it is. All of these yoga classes are just practices. There's no yoga Olympics to try out for. This is your practice, and listen to your body and do what you feel you can do. And if your body says don't do it, don't do it. So let's just start by doing that belly breathing. Just take a second to, if you close your eyes, just look at your stomach. And as you inhale, bring your belly up, filling it with air, just like you might be filling a balloon. And as you keep inhaling and bringing it up into the lungs and out the top of your head. And as you exhale, just bring that breath from your lungs back into your stomach, belly, and bring your belly in towards your spine. So we're going to do some of these breaths nice and slowly. Inhale, just making that belly go out, just like your little kid sticking the belly out. And as you exhale, just bring it back in. And as you do this, maybe starting to increase the length of your breath to maybe 4 seconds or even up to 6, but don't push it. Just do what feels good. And just as you're doing that, let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Let the outside world just fade from memory. You're just sitting in your own little world right now. Just taking those nice deep breaths that help us relieve stress. Get rid of a lot of tension that we have. Just starting to relax your whole body as you're breathing in. And just take about 3 more breaths, and then we'll start our movement. Now, just opening your eyes with a soft gaze on an inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, just let them come down. And always in every practice, we just do these warm-ups before we start doing some of the harder stuff. And on this next one, we're going to do a nice side stretch. So bring your left arm down and bring your right arm up and over for a nice side stretch, just stretching that right side. And I'm mirroring you, so I'm doing my left side. And see if you can look up at the ceiling or down at the floor, just being comfortable, but just nice stretch and taking that nice deep belly breathing and breathing right into your side. 2 more of these nice deep breaths. And on the next inhale, come on up. And as you exhale, bring the other arm down and bring that left arm up and over. And now you're stretching that left side. And again, I'm looking up towards the ceiling because it kind of helps my neck as I stretch it a little bit. Nice deep breath. And one more. And on the next inhale, bring your hands together. Bring them to heart center and then to your knees. And as I explain in every class that I teach, we try and relieve a lot of the stress that we carry around in our neck, in our shoulders, and hips. And today we're going to do some hip exercises to stretch those hips and possibly get rid of some of that stress. So on an inhale, let's do some shoulder rolls first. Just nice and slow inhale up and exhale down, up, down. Do about 5 or 6 of these. Just let all that stress go out. Tip of your fingers, imagine it just running down your arm and out. And maybe one more. I'm sitting up nice and straight, and I am sitting up straight. I've got my shoulders over my hips and my knees are over my ankles. I really like to work on my posture. As you get older, you kind of start slouching, and eventually that leads to all kinds of problems. So sit up nice and tall, pushing your feet into the floor. They should be hip width apart, which is you take 2 fists and put them between your knees, and that's hip width. And on an inhale, let's look up. And as we exhale, bring your chin down to your chest. Let's do one more of those. Inhale up. And exhale down. Now, on the next inhale, bring your chin up to the right, just about shoulder height. And as you exhale, come back down. Inhale to the left. And exhale down. Now inhaling to the right this time, if your neck likes you today, you can look all the way up and exhale down. And let's do a few of these nice, slow circles. Now, if that hurts your neck, you can just keep going side to side. Again, learning to listen to your body is important. The more you do this, and the harder you try, sometimes go a little bit beyond what you can do. Challenging is okay, but you don't want to hurt yourself. And let's do one more in this direction. And when you get back to center, just start going in the other direction. Nice. Deep breathing going. Enjoying this. In the last video I did, I said I do these every day. I wake up, but the neck is always stiff. So these are really good. Just do a few of them like this. Maybe one more. And come back to center. And let's do a couple shoulder rolls. Just trying to get it out. Maybe move your arms around a little bit. So next thing we're going to do is something called a Sufi roll or hip opener. Step 1 in hip opening. So move to the front of your chair. Put your hands on your knees. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, bending at the waist, come down. And as you inhale, come to the right. And as you exhale, coming forward, start making these little openers, kind of like you're stirring a pot. Now, some of you may not be real flexible and get down very far, but this is yoga and nobody's judging you, so you shouldn't judge yourself, especially since they can't see us. So just do what you can do and don't worry about how far down you get. I've been doing yoga for almost 12 years, so I'm somewhat flexible, but I could be a lot better. But I'm not going to be because I'm happy with where I am. So stopping where you are and then just going in the other direction. Inhale up, and you notice I'm going fairly slowly. Inhaling. Any creaking you hear is the chair and not my bones. Well, maybe. And let's do two more on this side. 1, 2, and then start making your circles a little bit smaller and smaller and smaller until you can't even know you're doing them and you're sitting straight up again. Our next thing we're going to do is a hip opener. So there's two ways to do this. Eventually what we're going to do is if you can, get your foot over your knee, kicking your right leg. However, if you can't do that, you can cross your right foot over your left and get a lot of the same benefit from it. But I'm going to show you how to do it, bringing your foot up over. So you've got your right leg up and you've got your right hand on your hip and your left hand, your heart, just like we did yesterday with this other stretches. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, just start bending towards that leg, knee, and you should be able to feel your hip open. Now, if you want, you can take your hand and put it on your right foot and just tug a little bit, and you should be feeling that. Now, if it hurts a lot, don't do it. You just keep taking those nice deep breaths. And as you inhale, just send your breath into that right hip. And as you exhale, just let it go. And you might find you can go just a little bit further. But only go as far as it feels okay. And we'll take 2 more breaths. Nice deep breaths. So if your breath isn't as deep as mine, don't worry about it. Just whatever's deep for you. And on the next inhale, come up nice and slowly. And we're just going to go right to the other side. So now I'm going to bring left knee up, left leg up, put my left hand, left hip. And again, you can either put it on your heart or you can grab your foot. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, just slowly going over that knee, opening that left hip, but again, only as far as you think you can go. And it's interesting that one of your hips is probably a little more flexible and easier to open than the other. For me, it's my right, but it just depends on what your body is. Nice deep breath. And take 2 more. And a big inhale. And as you exhale, come on back. We're going to do one more seated thing, and that is the seated upper back twist. So bring your arms out. I do this almost every class. I like doing my back because it's bad. And bringing your right arm behind your back, take your left hand and put it over your right knee and look over your right shoulder for this nice upper back twist. Keeping that deep breath going. That might be a little strained as you do this, but we're just opening up the back, squeezing down on organs, and all kinds of good stuff. And taking nice deep breaths. And 2 more. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, come around and just go right to the other side. So your left arm is behind, your right hand is on your left knee, looking over your left shoulder. Nice deep breathing. Two more breaths. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, come around. The next thing we're going to do is our standing exercises. And I want to point out something. When I stand up like that, I don't push down on a chair and I don't push down on my legs. And this is really a good thing to keep doing even when you're not doing yoga. Actually saw something on television or read about it that it's one of the tests that medical people use as you get older to see whether you can stand up without assistance. So the first thing we're going to do is something called sun salutations. Now, those of you in wheelchairs or walkers who saw the first video know you can do this seated. But what we're going to do is you're standing and your feet are hip width apart. And on an inhale, you're going to bring your arms all the way up. And as you exhale, you're going to do a swan dive, just bending at the hips and bend your knees as much as you need to and come down either to the floor or your knees or your shins or whatever. It's up to your body. And as you exhale, come down. And you inhale, bring your arms out to the side and using your feet and your legs, bring yourself up. This is called reverse swan dive. Hands all the way up, hands to heart center. And then this is called mountain pose. So we're going to do two more of these. Inhale up. Exhale, bend at the waist and the knees. Most of us, especially men, can't reach the floor with their legs straight. Inhale up halfway. Exhale down. Inhale, arms out to the side, all the way up. Nice and slowly, because you come up real quickly, you'll get dizzy. Hands to heart center, and then back to mountain pose. So one more of those. Inhale up. Exhale, bending knees. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, down. Inhale, arms out to the side. Come all the way up. Hands to heart center. Mountain pose. And just kind of shake it all out. The next thing we're going to do is warrior poses. And so I'm going to kind of move around as I do these so that you can see it. So the first thing you want to do, and again, standing with your feet about hip width apart, is bring your right leg out and bend at the knee. And that knee should be over your ankle only. And that back foot coming back should be at, now let me just do this. See if we can see that. So you can see that this foot is pointed to 2 o'clock on the clock. So this is what your warrior poses look like. And so when we go to warrior 2, we're going to turn that back foot and line our heels up. So you can't see both when I'm doing up. It's not a big studio. So anyway, so I've got myself positioned and now I bring my arms up for warrior 1. And I can look straight ahead, or I can bring my head up and I can look up towards the ceiling, but I don't look up like that where I'm crunching my neck together, but just keeping my spine in a straight line, and I'm doing my nice breathing and I'm pressing down and making sure that that front knee isn't going over my ankle. That's how knees get hurt. And I've got myself balanced. Now, if you haven't done this before, you might feel a little out of balance. It's not a natural stance. And we're going to do 2 more breaths. And on the next inhale, you can bring that left arm up and over and send it to the back. And then bring that back foot to 3 o'clock and line your heels up. And this is what you want to look like. So both arms are like that. And this is warrior 2. So shrug your shoulders. Nice deep breathing here, looking out over your right hand. Nice. 2 more breaths. And on the next inhale, flip that right hand over, and as you exhale, come all the way back and extend that right hand towards the ceiling, looking up at your right hand, and that left hand can go right down along your leg, or if you want, you can wrap it behind your back. And you're still breathing, hopefully. If you're not, down we go. 2 more breaths. This is really good work for your triceps. And as you exhale, come back to warrior 2. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to something called extended side angle. So yesterday I showed side angle, or last video, and then you can come to side angle bending your arm, or you can send your right arm inside the right knee and send that left arm up towards 12 o'clock on the ceiling, and see if you can look at that left thumb. Still taking those nice deep breaths. Some people can reach the floor. I'm going about halfway down my calf. That's about as far as I can get. You don't want to come forward. You want to make sure that everything's lined up, kind of like you're between 2 pieces of glass. 2 more breaths. And on the next inhale, we come back up and we just step to the front. So next we're going to do the other side, because when we do something on one side in yoga, we always do it on the other. So now my left foot's in front, that right foot's back, and it's pointing to 10 o'clock. And I'm looking down, and I can see that my left knee is right over my ankle, and that left one is back, say at 10 o'clock, and then inhaling to warrior 1. Nice deep breaths. And I'm looking up, keeping that back straight. Spine is one solid line. 2 more breaths. And on the next inhale, you want to bring that right arm to the back. Send that left arm back in front. Line up your heels so that back foot is pointed to 9 o'clock. And shrug your shoulders, which I forgot to tell you on the first time. Just let all that tension get out. Nice deep breaths, looking over that left hand. Three more breaths. And on the next inhale, flip that left hand over. Come back for reverse warrior. Looking up at your left hand, sending that right arm down along your right leg, or you can wrap it around your back. Either one. If your back hurts, that might be a little much, so you just let it go. Just adjust for what you feel is right. And that during any of this, if you get tired, just take a seat and catch up later. And 2 more breaths. And on the next exhale, come back to warrior 2. And then inhale. And as you exhale, bring that left hand inside your left knee, or you can bend it and do what we did before for side angle or extended side angle. And you're just reaching up towards the ceiling, looking up at that right arm. Take a nice deep breath. Two more. And on the next inhale, come on up, step to the front. Every class that I do a balance. I do it for myself because when you get over 35, or a lot more, balance is something that kind of decays over time or degrades over time. So I really practice balance a lot. So what we're going to do today is something called Warrior 3. And let's see if I can position so that you can see. I guess, yeah, you can see enough of that. Actually, I'll pull this down a little bit like that. So we're going to start like we did with Warrior 1. Now, if you have a balance problem, you could always use a chair to kind of prop yourself up. But if you remember that Warrior 1 where we had the left foot or the right foot in front and that left foot back, but now I'm on my toes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on a non-moving spot. Take some nice deep breaths. When I feel I've got my balance, I'm going to come up on the toes of that back foot, straighten that front leg, and I'm going to come forward, bending at the waist. The easiest balance is to bring your arms out to the side. And again, if you're using a chair, you can try this and then just let go and see if you stand. You know, if you fall, it's not too far to the floor, hopefully. But you shouldn't. If you do fall out, you just come back up and oops, and then you just come right back to where you were, taking your time and bring those arms out. Some people call this balancing stick, but I know it as Warrior 3. And on the next inhale, just come up, shake it out. We're just going to go right to the other side, so just coming back to that pose where your front knee is over your ankle. Come up on the toes of that back foot as you straighten that left leg. And just leaning forward and taking those arms out to the side. Now, some people fall out 20, 30 times while we're doing this. And when I tell everybody, and this is what I did when I first started yoga, my instructor told me this, just laugh. It's not serious. This is yoga. And you might find that your left leg is easier to balance on than your right. That's because you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, the right leg is the easiest one. And let's come on up. Shake it out. Now we're going to come back to seated. And our half hour is almost up. So that's the bad news. The good news is that we're going to sit back and in our chairs, we're going to relax and we're going to go through something called Shavasana, which is a relaxation of the body. Actually, I don't know if that's literal, but that's what it is. And so I invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to see if I can get a little music going. I invite you to just close your eyes. Start to relax as I go through a progressive relaxation. Nice deep breath. Let your feet relax. Let your ankles, your shins and your thighs relax. Let your calves relax. Your hamstrings just melt into the chair. Let your hips feel relaxed. And your stomach and your chest relax. Just let your back melt into the back of the chair as your shoulders fall away from your ears and your jaw drop away from your mouth. Just relaxing your face, letting your forehead relax with no wrinkles, your scalp is relaxed. And finally, heartstring to relax. Free is your brain. The way to do that is to imagine yourself at a place that you can imagine or remember where there's total peace and quiet and you're totally at ease, no worries. Maybe it's down at the beach, just looking at the ocean, up in the mountains, all by yourself, or you're in a park, maybe there's a bench there. You just sit down and close your eyes and take in the warm sunshine that's there. Sky is blue, no clouds. Just relax. If any thoughts do come along, we can acknowledge them. Let's say it's hard, but just think of them as little white clouds scudding by. And you're going to take the next 3 or 4 minutes to just sit and relax. And now, taking a nice deep inhale and exhale, starting to reconnect with the world outside, wiggling fingers and toes, making little circles with your wrists in each direction, and then turning your head to one side and then the other. Finally, bring your hands to heart center. Take these last moments for gratitude. First is gratitude to ourselves for making an effort to participate in this practice and leave the world behind. Appreciate our bodies for assisting us in doing them. Grateful to those who are participating with this video in their own space. We thank them and honor them for that. And I'm grateful to all of you who have decided to watch this video and come along with me on this journey. As always, grateful to those whose lives are on the front lines of this coronavirus war that we're fighting, hoping that they are able to stay healthy and keep the rest of us healthy. And I hope all of you are doing the same. I wish you well. Namaste.